live, right? Yep, we are live. What's up, Bird Bunch? Bird Bunch. I made it once, haha, with the new boys. Sliff is in the house. Welcome, developer. I am sorry. Your game is on the hot seat today. Your game is on the hot seat today, so don't feel bad. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you real good. So, once again, guys, it is Wednesday. We made it another week. It was a long week with the Labor Day and some of the kids going back to school, those who got children. You know, a lot of them, it's a busy weekend. You know, Labor Day is crazy. But welcome to the RTP, Rarely Typical Player Podcast, where once again, me, D7, Cychronic, and Marlon Unjaded have once again struggled, cried, bled, and played your game to bring for your entertainment. We risk a lot of things, guys. We risk family time, we risk personal time, and we risk pretty much our lives just playing these games for you guys. So, all right, demonic. First of all, for the future, can't really say much about the synopsis because I don't think one was given to us by the developer. Did any of you guys see like a synopsis or anything?
I did not.
It was just a link. So in the future developers, if your game is not on the itch.io page or Steam page, I would recommend you guys create something called a stream kit. Make a stream kit for the streamers. That way we have the information and we know what the game is about per se, and whatever thumbnails you can give us, because we really don't want to use these thumbnails where we got to get it from the title screen. It got new adventure, load credits, and options. It looks a bit cheap on your end. So if you give it to us cheap, we're going to deliver it cheap. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so make a Steam kit. Make a stream kit. You know, stream kit consists of what the game is about, what's the purpose, what you may want the streamer to focus on, and
maybe some good artwork. Yeah.
Artwork, thumbnails, anything. Any publishing rights, credits, everything is in that stream kit to give us what we need. That way it's presentable to your liking. All right, guys? All right, so let's get into it. Demonic. Just looking at the title screen once again, because they say a book, you can't judge a book by its covers, right? But at the same time, remember back in the day, we used to go to these video game stores and we look at the front of the CD or the cartridge and we focus on the picture and we come up with the idea what the game could be about. So imagine this was on your SNES and you had the sticker art was this, but there's no box art. You know, you grab this game from one of those bins, you know, them $5 bins. Not saying this game is $5 worth, but let's just pretend. What would you think this game is about just by looking at this cover art and just the title itself, Demonic?
I would think that it's about like a beautiful sunset. like a peaceful setting. A little bit different than the title. Like the word would make me wonder, but this title screen almost looks non-demonic. It almost looks kind of peaceful.
Yeah, like heavenly. That's crazy.
Yeah, heavenly.
For sure.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a hidden meaning in it or something. I don't know.
Don't know it all, and I give it. I agree. You can't tell. So I think the developer would benefit to add some characteristics of the game into the title screen. Just straight up and down. Like it doesn't look descriptive of what you're about to play. It does look, I mean, to his benefit, like it's not the RTP title screen, but yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, demonic. To me, that I felt more of on both of y'all end. I felt like, okay, we're in the clouds. It's beautiful. It's like we're above the clouds, right? Like I never been in a plane, but once you go above the clouds to a certain altitude, it kind of levels up the ride a bit. It's no longer bumpy and shaky and stuff. It's kind of calm. That's what this game looks like. It looks like it's peaceful and it's calm. So demonic, it doesn't look anything evil, anything at all. Maybe it's the player colors, that give it that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I would definitely, and I suggested to the developer. Let me go ahead and play the video. I suggested to the developer maybe make it like animated, if you can, if it's possible, if you could like have it like some parallax movement going on instead of just that plain looking demonic. So, all right, guys. Story.
Story. Right. Hopefully my mic is better today.
Your mic sounds better.
All right, great. So I guess since we didn't get a synopsis, so I'm gonna try to I guess I can summarize my experience, and we can call that the story, and then kind of use that as the framework. So starting the game, there's a cutscene, a old looking demon. Like, see, one demon with a beard is getting chased by a number of demons, comes up to a woman. The woman is defended by a demon man. Everybody wants to kill the woman, and they want the demon man to kill the woman, right? All the while, there's another woman watching, right? So fast forward, because this cutscene is a little lengthy. The woman gets slashed near death. The woman in the bushes talks to the other woman, and the near death woman says, "Keep my baby." That's who you're playing as. So it's your stepmom that found you in the bushes, and you're apparently half demon, because it's a relationship going on between the woman that's dying and the demon that didn't want to kill her. And then you're in a whole nother town. Some other guy finds you, brings you to another town, and then you pretty much live your normal life for a few cutscenes, right? You do some, training steps. It's like gameplay learning steps, but you're living a daily life. All of a sudden, what the hell happens?
The town.
Oh yeah, the town's on fire. Boom.
Yeah,
you go
we
there.
get back. Yeah.
Right, and then you're super angry, and that the guy there, I guess he's a demon guy with the white hat. I mean, a hat, white beard, some old, I don't know, some shoes or whatever, trench coat, I think, completely wipes the floor with you, sends you to another town. You got to chase this guy down. You chase the guy down. You don't. As you're tracking him down, you run into a woman, and then you cross a mountain path with the woman. And after that, you make it past the mountain path. You got to ask around for the guy, and then you get to a castle that's also burning. That castle's burning. That's when you meet my favorite character in the game, Alexander. He's like a tank, and you have to win that battle. It's a crazy battle against some demons that the trench coat bad guy kind of set upon you. You beat those people, then you go do another thing. I don't know. It seems like a anime thing where you're just doing random stuff, but it's a little hint of your main objective, and that's tracking down the trench coat guy. And you get on a boat because you got to go to another continent. While you're on the boat, it's a ghost ship, and you got to fight like death or whatever, right? The Grim Reaper at the end, and then you get off of the boat, and then you're in another town, and dang, I think that's as far as I got. So that is the story, guys.
That's the whole game, you guys. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, but so we could be like on focus point for this part, right?
Okay.
So the girl that you see on screen, the flower woman, that's who we see at first. So when the game finally loads up, you see a beautiful girl that's in the forest, right? Picking flowers for whatever reason. Maybe she's picking flowers for a gift. Maybe she's picking flowers for her home. No clue. Then all of a sudden she hears this commotion going on, and she see a male demon. Well, we don't even know they're demons.
We do, because it says demon man, demon warrior. Demon,
she doesn't know. I meant to say she doesn't know they're demons.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't know they're demons. So she kind of sneak off and see what the commotion was. Did she see a woman and a man being chased by demons? Everybody else got horns, but the woman is a human. So it's already understood what's going on in the beginning. It's already understood, right? Because just the dialogue, it tells you that, the male demon is having relations or, with the human, which could be taboo. And,
So specifically relations, I'm not sure, right? Did they mention that they were in? I think the demon man did not want to kill the woman, but did he mention? I don't know if he mentioned like we together type of deal, right?
Well, no, didn't she say like take like our son or something?
Yeah,
like that?
she said our son, and she was saying you're the best thing that ever happened to me, stuff like that.
I missed that. I only knew that there was a baby in the bushes when the girl told the dying girl told the flower girl.
I missed that. Yeah.
And then later you're called a half-breed, so it's kind of implied, right?
Yeah.
When you're already like playable, right?
Yeah,
you're called half. Yeah. So I got the gist like after the fact. At first, it almost came to a surprise the way I read it. By the way, I was having that enter situation where my enter key, I don't know, like the game was very sensitive to my enter key, so I'd be straight missing dialogue. But sorry, go ahead, Disa.
Oh, got it.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's on auto scroll. Sometimes it's not even, it's real sensitive. But yeah, they didn't mention it while the other demons was around about the baby, because I guess they didn't want the other demons to know where the baby was. Right. So I'm not even sure they even know about the baby. They just know about, them two being together. So how they come to meet, I don't know. That wasn't really explained how they came and meet, but it it gives you the focal point of what's going to happen. You know, it's kind of like you know, you got two different races, right? You got two different races. You got the demon race and the human race. Normally, you know, or let's take it like this. Like Greek mythology, for example. In Greek mythology, you know, you got something called gods and mortals. Gods were, you know, Zeus and Poseidon and all those other gods. And the mortals were the humans, of course. But these gods, especially Zeus, is known for going to Earth and having relations with a lot of mortal women and having children, which become, you know, demigods, for example. You know, they're half god, half human. So in this sense, it seemed like it's more forbidden in a way, because once they found out they was having relations, you know, all the other demons just went wild and crazy, wanted to punish the main demon they was after. So
Right.
So the reason, I don't know what the true reason is, or maybe they could have discovered the birth of the baby and wanted that child for their own, but maybe the father didn't want the child to have that demon life, or maybe the demon, the main demon they was chasing, maybe he didn't want to live a demon life anymore. Maybe he wanted to humanize himself, you know. And once they found out, it was all over.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I want to praise the setup. I think the story was clear. However, it was a little simple, but the setup made it pretty clear what the story was, right? I agree with that. I think the cutscene could be adjusted in a lot of ways, and so I guess since we're talking about story, you're using your cutscene to tell your story. I would suggest trying to bring the characters more to the center of the screen. And the little girl that was the flower girl, she was getting frequently blocked by the message box. So yeah, maybe just tweak that.
Nice. Yeah, and I noticed people in my stream, when I streamed the game, they felt like the scenes wasn't in the center of attention as it should be. You know, the main character is always supposed to be focused. You know, the speaker is always supposed to be focused. They shouldn't be like off in the corner. So I do agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. I felt that the story was, it was clear, but it was also a little bit generic, and what I would, and also a sort of a little bit disjointed. I mean, like the scene itself, the first scene was kind of like, like there was some good stuff going on, but it was like, there was like a little like, to me it just seemed a little awkward. Like this isn't how these characters would talk to each other or interact in this type of, you know,
That's ironic. Let me tell you why that's ironic. It's ironic, psychronic. Let me tell you why. Look, I'm a rapper, but anyway, I literally took a note about that specifically. I kept thinking in my mind while I was watching the cutscene. I'm like, you can tell this is written by one person. It just seemed like they kind of jumped into the story, and there was a bunch of like, why is the flower girl here? Like, what elements do they play? You can assume, but
we also don't get her name.
Right.
Even after she's the flower girl, she's just mom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right. So, and then the demon dad, I guess maybe these elements are to be revealed later, but yeah, the way it just kind of jabs you with that scenario is a little I don't want to say jarring, but like abrupt in that sense. But yeah, I I think I like that it kept my attention compared to the games I've been playing recently. But
Oh, it had some action in it, which is nice. It's nice when there's
yeah.
action and killing and all kinds of fun little stuff. Burning places down. I mean, that's always fun in games, right?
Right. And that's, I was chuckling to myself because I don't know if I use that as an example, but to see the town on fire just immediately after you just go do some random errand or whatever, it seems it's really to be honest, the story seems very unoriginal. However, I don't know. It's a amusing, unoriginal game, which I think is it's probably not the it's probably not preferred, but it
was mildly amusing for me, because I played some games where like I'm hearing the story, where I'm playing the story and it's incredibly boring and I immediately want to exit. I didn't get that from this game, although I'm not gonna say that the story was like super good or anything, but like it wasn't. It had some good stuff about it. I guess
that's the crazy thing. I swear, like it's like you ever like a bad story, like here it is. Like I feel like I like I'm like a super traditional RPG enjoyer, right? Like I like Sword and Shield. I like go on adventure. I like the different races and the stupid I mean everything catches fire. Nobody can magically extinguish like the town because I don't know. Just I like the medieval setting, I guess, right? I like those types of stories. So it appealed to me, I think, more than it probably would appeal to the general audience, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
And the story was super generic, which was like I identified with that. So I already went in like kind of like just here's a general story thing. I really feel like it could use some work. So how about we jump to so now he's at the town, like during that scene. What do you think? How about the setup, I guess? That was really, it ended up being like a nothing burger. The gap of time between, he's running and doing that errand for his mom, and he comes back in a fire, right? He talks to like that girl or something like that.
Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine. What do you think that was? Do you guys think that was part of the story at all, or just...
Well, when he was talking with Elaine, I was confused at first because they have this long conversation about how they want to travel the world together, and she says yes, and I would like to travel the world with you, and then the next thing you're going to like the southern part of the continent, like pretty far away. Yeah. And you just go without her, and I'm like, what, didn't she say she was gonna like travel the world with you? And then you just leave and go somewhere else, and then when you come back, the town's on fire, and she's
that's what I'm saying. Isn't she dead now? Like she's dead now. Hey, so all right, so I guess tips for the developer. He could play with that. He could play with that, right?
Like what might have been good, actually, in my opinion, at story wise, is like, and then the second woman, she comes along with no context as to why she would even be going along with you. Like what would make a lot more sense is if you just went with Elaine to the town, and then you both come back and it's on fire, and now you're stuck together and you have to travel the world because your town is burned down.
Yeah.
Like sure. it would make a little more sense as to why you'd be together and stay together instead of like, I'm going to stay at the inn in this random town, and then this woman comes in frantic that she has to cross the mountains too for some other reason.
So,
well, the town, the town ain't random because the dialogue, he had to go pick up the supplies because the other guy was sick.
Yeah, but
so it wasn't a random town. It wasn't a random thing.
I didn't mean it was if I said random, I didn't mean it like that. So I just meant another town. Yeah.
All right. As far as the story goes, it's not important to the story though.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like you have to go to this town. As far as the story goes, it is unimportant. But what would be better though is if Elaine, she dying after wanting to explore, not being able to. That gives the main character like PTSD, and he's like not PTSD, but like yeah. It's like stressing him out, and he meets Elaine, and then he meets Helena. Helena ends up being like related to Elaine, and then that triggers him like, oh
No.
God, like, he goes into a crazy depression or something.
No.
No, it's called demonic. Man. Think about it, like
related, bro.
yeah, it'd be crazy if he was related to like random. They find Helena's house, right? For whatever reason, she's got a picture on the dresser. Who's that? Oh, it's Elaine. Like that's my sister in the town type, you know.
Nah,
and then
bro.
he just started bugging. He's be bugging like, you know. And then maybe
They childhood friends though. What would have been probably good, and I agree with Cychronic on this end. Elaine could have went with him to the town to get the supplies. You know, she could be a playable NPC, maybe a healer or whatnot, you know, like a cleric. Then on the way back, the town's on fire because they was out looking for. Then Elaine runs and try to save some of the town folks that end up getting snatched up by the other guy. And now you got to fight this guy, which is a losing battle. Then he kills Elaine and everybody else.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would have been great because not only you witness your town being slaughtered, but you witness the death of your love interest in front of your face. So now it's a reverse happening because, you know, your father witnessed your mother being killed, like your birth mother being killed.
And now you had to go through the same trauma, somewhat of a similar trauma again.
Yeah.
That would have been dope. That would have been dope.
Please take notes. That would have been dope. But then, you know, on the ghost ship, guess who's on the ghost ship? Elaine's on the ghost ship, bro. Like that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Because she did, right? It'd be like, Souls, you gotta fight the nightmare on the ghost ship. I mean, what's his name? Like, he's like the Grim Reaper or something on the ghost ship. And he like, maybe he summons Elaine as like a ghost, like
was Elaine? So wait, there was the ghost ship. I didn't get to the ghost ship part. So you just to confirm, Elaine's not on the ghost ship, right?
No, but
it would be good. But it would be interesting. Yeah, then you just take it even further.
It's kind of like y'all play this game. Anybody? I think it's on PS5, but it might be on other consoles. I think it's called Banished. It's like your ghost hunters, and you're a couple. So one of the couples end up getting killed, and not only they got killed, but their spirit came back, and now you know your spirit. You gotta help the spirit, you know, make peace. By capturing other ghosts and going after the bit ghost. So Elaine probably could have became a spiritual being in some sort, or just we could have gave the main character maybe some powers, you know, like something like that happened. A demonic power may come, you know, whatnot, because he's still clueless of who these guys are. But it seems like the town folks know who the demons are. So people know who they are, because remember in the beginning it says that she tried to take the baby to another town, but they rejected them. Because they didn't want the trouble. So maybe there is a relation where the demons do come and raid the people and try to keep them in order, and they don't want no trouble. So they already know this baby is half bred, but it wasn't raised like that. You know, it kind of had, the game kind of gives you your ordinary, you know, your standard RPG maker hero trope type thing. You know, you're a hero, you know, you're from another planet, or you're the legendary this, then, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you're this Terminator killer, aka Demon Slayer, and you're a demon yourself.
And what I'm wondering is when are his horns gonna sprout?
He's a demigod, so I'm pretty sure, you know, kind of like how Dante, like Devil May Cry is, you know, when you're a demigod, you know, you kind of transform. You may have different ability. You're not 100% purebred. So you may look human, but at the same time, your powers may work differently than being the full bred with the horns and the wings, because everybody had horns and wings in the beginning, and white hair. You got blue hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. The mom and the dad don't have those. Whatever. It just got.
Just roll with it.
The dad could be 5,000 years old. All we know, he could. You know, I'm pretty sure he's immortal.
Yeah.
In some ways, so the main character seems to grow normally, like a regular human. So it's really no telling.
Or these demons could just be another species. They might not be, you know, like immortal.
Nah, they say they're demon. It says demon man. It's demon man.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they gotta be immortal, man. They from the brinks of hell, or whatever dimension they're from.
Right, but do we know that? Dang, we probably do. I pay attention to how you pay attention, D7, to the little bits of details that imply things. So I know I need to get better at that, because yeah, there's certain situations where you have to fight demons, and I think they kind of the dialogue probably implies that they come from the underworld or something, right?
Well,
I don't know where they come from.
Yeah, I don't.
According to the certain fights that we had, they already know who they are. You know what I mean? All right, for example, the father wasn't killed. Remember, they said we're gonna take him back so he could be tried and judged.
Yep.
So we don't even know the dad is alive or dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but there is a reason why they want us. Because now they came, we had to be no more than 17 in this. You know, the hero can't be no more than 20. You know, he's still little.
Do they want the hero?
Yeah. They can't. Yeah, the guy literally said, he's not going to destroy you now. He's basically toying with him.
Oh, okay.
He said you're not even worth killing.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that part. It seemed like it was he was trying to track the guy down for the sake of tracking him down, because he burnt the village.
I think he's trying to bring out his inner demon powers.
Okay.
That's what he's trying to do. You know how, kind of like a Dragon Ball thing. I'm sorry to bring up Dragon Ball, but when Goku came to Earth, you know, before he hit his head, normally Saiyans are ruthless in nature. They like to destroy. Now, with this demon, you know, he doesn't have that nature. So this kind of showed the nature of the demons. You know, they are evil. They're evil. But the father like I said, the father, we're just speculating right now. We're just speculating. The father, you know, maybe came to a revelation where humans ain't bad. You know, humans ain't bad. They're not as what we think they really are. So, you know, he fell in love with them. Maybe he caught her one day on the night stroll, and she treated him so kindly, he fell in love with her, and they had a kid. You know what I mean? Of course they had a kid, but now the demons realize that there's a half-breed running around, you know, amongst the humans. So now they probably want to destroy him, but not at the leisure as they want to. Maybe they want to bring out his inner power, because it seems like this demon, the way it's kind of written in a way, it's kind of like they're afraid of what this one might become. So,
okay, I ain't get that, but yeah.
Don't say it like that, man.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a good thing to emphasize. If he was getting that, like, if the developer was like hinting toward that, then I think that they should work on like emphasizing that a little bit more. Like, I'm not sure if we played 3% of the game, 10% of the game, or 20% of the game, right? But there's got to be more development, I feel like, in the content that we played. Just like a little bit more development.
Do y'all know,
story-wise?
Do y'all know this is a finished project, or is it still in development? I think it's still in development, but
it seems like it's still in development.
Okay.
And that right there is why I'm a little bit hopeful for this, because I remember getting the link and it was like demo, and I think the developer mentioned that it was like not complete but in progress. So I feel like there's ways to improve. This isn't a finished product, so it can improve in so many little things, you know, and believe me, I have a long list of suggestions.
Yeah, me too.
See, look, the guy right here, he's saying, "You lowly half-breed, thinking you have a chance against me?" So he knows,
right,
he knows he's the half-breed. He knows.
Yeah, and look, about the dialogue, right? The dialogue had me laughing kind of like the whole time. I think the protagonist overused the word hell, right? And I don't know if that's supposed to be because he's partly demonic. Maybe he's just like, you know, it's coming out of him or whatever. But he's just like overly angry at everything. Everything that's bad, he just flips the hell out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So I guess we pushing almost the first hour of the podcast. So maybe let's kind of wrap up the story. Like, okay, so let's jump to the mountain piece, because I don't think we got this. So we got village was burning, and then you set out south. I think you have to randomly ask somebody to figure out if they've seen the person, or you have to get access to the mountain range.
Yeah.
And then the whole mountain range portion, I think, in my opinion, you meet the second character, Helena, and y'all go on your adventure together. Helena is not developed pretty much at all. Like, she had something that she had to do, but after the mountain situation, she just
kind of goes away. Yeah.
Yep, forgets it. And I'm thinking that perfect opportunity was to use that mountain range portion to develop the characters a bit more. Straight up and down. What y'all think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also on that same note, the mapping on the mountain portion was like some of the worst mapping.
Oh,
That's gameplay. That's
gameplay. It's not. No, but I mean, like, it's that part in general could be developed more.
Not yet. Dang.
But yeah, that's definitely okay. So guys, right, the story, right, in that section is a little empty.
Oh my god.
Perfect opportunity to set some events, maybe quick little scripted events of them maybe encountering things, talking to each other and everything.
Or maybe like a campfire. You're talking around a campfire.
For sure, they got to take a little break. Yep, they got to take a little break. Oh my god, yeah, I want to talk about the mountain range so much too. So, but after that, they get to they get out of the mountain range. I think they stop at one town, and that town's a nothing burger. You go past that town, and then you get to the burning castle, right? That's when stuff sparks off, and you meet Alexander, because I guess his whole town is burning. As far as the cutscene goes, believe me, in all aspects, it can be better. However, it was engaging to me. I mean, Alexander blasts out of the castle like an action movie is about to explode or something like that. So he comes out, he's like cursing whoever burned it up. Apparently, it's the trenchcoat guy. And trenchcoat guy summons some demons, and you got to fight. However, Vincent gets triggered, so you can't play Vincent because the demonic is coming out of him. I'm guessing this is it. Like, he's getting so mad at stuff, right? Starts flipping out to the point where he's uncontrollable, almost kills Helena, something like that. I think Alexander has to step in, and then you have to play a battle with Alexander and Helena. So what do you guys think about that scene right there of that portion of story we got?
It could be better. I mean, I got what was going on, but it looked a little clunky. And then that's actually where I ended up stopping, because like I ended up playing that battle, and then it ended up taking a really long time, and then I ran out of items and ran out of MP, and then I just died.
You gamed over. Oh my god, I'm a better gamer than Cychronic.
Yeah, you got further this time than me.
Did you game over D7 on that fight? I'm just curious.
I don't think I did.
All right, yeah, I didn't think so.
I can't. I may have, but I don't think
I underprepared before going into it because I didn't know it was coming. So
for sure.
But you know, like it feels like most of the development, that the character development is on the main character and not as a whole picture, because Alexander is getting all Vincent, not Alexander. Vincent is getting all the attention, the growth, where Helena and it's not really getting. Still don't really.
Right. So before it leaves my head, like you said, Helena needs to get developed. He could have used the mountain range for that. Even when you stop in towns, maybe go to inns and stuff like that. We're gonna get the gameplay. Inn is one of my concerns about the gameplay too. But then the scene with Alexander, they could have. All right, so I'm gonna let the developer know there's a plugin. I think Stella makes this one where you can skip cutscenes, right? All right. The reason why I'm saying this is because you can do a little story building with Alexander in the beginning. As soon as you come into the castle, you can have a scene where. Also, by the way, dang, another side tangent. You can record your whole cutscene in like OBS or something, make it an MP4, and then play it as a movie. To then in your event play the movie, but then have the Vision Stella cutscene completely wipe it out. Like you say skip cutscene, and then that means if the player dies at the battle, they can just skip the cutscene and then get to wherever they need to be to try again. Okay, but back to the story. Alexander can be chilling in his castle, right? Maybe talking to his kids, right? He's got kids, right? He's like, stop running around the castle. Or maybe he's a guard talking to his guard homies or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm so good at defending or whatever. And then the stuff pops off. Maybe they smell some smoke. And then like things are happening a little bit more. And like it gives you a chance to learn about Alexander, right? Maybe like his environment, who's close to him, and maybe what he's aware of. Maybe there could be commotion talking about demons, about maybe there could be a commotion about maybe he hears about the half-breed. Like, could you actually believe somebody made a demon with a human or something like that, right? develop Alexander a little bit, then go into his home is destroyed, right? What y'all think?
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah. In general, the characters could be developed a little more. All of them, pretty much. Even Vincent is he's the main character, but yeah, a little more development as far as like why would these people be working together, kind of thing.
And also another thing.
What's bringing them together?
And also another thing. What's the reason why the village was burnt down in the beginning?
Right.
I would rather,
because they harbored a half-breed.
That could be, but it kind
No,
of.
I don't know.
It kind of.
I actually don't know.
It's kind of. It kind of questions like, okay, shouldn't I at least, if I want to bring somebody out, shouldn't I at least kidnap or take something that they truly love? Like the mom could have been kidnapped, Elaine could have been kidnapped, and not just killed for no reason. And it still didn't do a change, because that's the worst thing that could happen to somebody. You kill their loved one and you're still not at full potential.
Yeah.
So I think, like there's nothing you can do after that to make me more upset. There's nothing you can do. You killed my mother, you killed my everyone that I know. What else can you do to me? I have nothing to lose. So think about that, next time.
For sure. And then so we pretty clear on like the Alexander scene. Pretty dry, straightforward, but so many parts could be developed, I feel like, around that. Then there's the we need a ship arc, where they gotta get on a ship to get to the other continent. They introduce a girl that is the girl, literally named Girl, to get a ship by, right? She needs you to do a thing, because there's a ghost ship situation going on in the water, and then you agree to do the thing. That whole situation felt like a Pokemon episode to me, in which it was like cheesy, but I can see it was like getting to the point, which is a fine line between very hollow, very shallow story, and the other end being succinct, getting to the point, keeping the player in the game, right? So it's a fine line, and I challenge the developer to kind of work on that a little bit more. Maybe make the player have a choice to interact more with the NPCs that are driving the story. So I'm going to say specifically, in this scene, the girl and like the sailor girl, and there's a sailor guy. They know there's a problem at sea. The sailor girl sees an advantage in using your party. But if you can maybe like for instance, she says meet me at the inn. She's literally standing outside the inn. I assume that you have to go in the inn, maybe sit down with her, maybe like I don't know. Maybe I was thinking something was going to happen there, which then signs you up for the ghost ship. But maybe getting a little bit more, allowing the player to get a little bit more from the NPCs would have fleshed out this situation a little bit more, right? But that was that part, and then I'm gonna just jump. Basically, it's a dungeon. The what do you call it? The ghost ship is just a dungeon. Pretty plain and simple. It doesn't even drive the story much as it's just a means to get to the other continent. What do you guys think about that bit?
I didn't make it that far, so I don't know.
How about you, D7? Then I think we can, I don't know, give a rating for the story.
It's just side content, lead, to the next part. I don't want to give too much, but
okay.
so
Yeah. So how about I ask you, D7? Was there any more after the ghost ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. I believe, yeah.
And I guess it's up to you whether you want to reveal that or not. But was it engaging? Like, was it good story to be had in that part after the ghost ship? What do you think?
I think that's when I actually stopped. I didn't get no further than that.
Okay.
So
by this, or so I think the developer said it's about 10% of the game in total that we played. This bit of story where you experience the death of your mom through the eyes of the player. You have to run an errand to then cross a mountain range. I mean, to witness your town that you grew up in get burned. You cross a mountain range, and then there's a castle a neighboring castle or something that gets burned, and you recruit these couple of guys. All the while, a trench coat guy is trying to taunt the demon out of you. What do you kind of what would you rate this story for demonic so far?
If it was me, based on what I played so far, I'd give it like a 5.5.
Okay.
I thought that it had some good elements to it, but it was also a little generic and like a little bit slap a bumper sticker, get it out the door kind of vibe on some parts of it. More character development is needed for sure for all the characters. And yeah, so I just 5.5 for me.
I do say this. It does get a bit interesting after the ghost ship. That's all I'm going to say about it. You know, and there is a pretty decent fight afterwards as well. You know, I'm not going to say no more. You know, no spoilers. But overall, I believe the story, you know, it's kind of generic. You know, you could basically hint of what's going to happen next. You know, but overall, you know, it's pretty generic story. The story ain't too bad, but I feel like, you know, some parts didn't make not really much sense, especially like, you know, with the demons and Vincent, and he's getting these powers because you could tell he's having demonic power because his eyes is glowing with certain moves. You know, it's kind of like he knows he's a demon because he's doing these demon attacks and stuff.
Yeah,
but he don't know. I don't think he knows. Well, right. he have to know because the guy called him a half-breed, and he has really no response to it.
Yeah, right. But does he? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that was just a hole. It's a plot hole. Like I feel like
wasted opportunity.
Yeah, so, for him to question. Oh man, am I half-breed or
like he could be like, "What are you talking about?" Like he doesn't know. That'd be kind of interesting.
And sure. Nobody can really verify. Nobody's around to really verify that anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. So
that's the truth.
Story wise, I would give this 5.8.
All right, so we really getting in with the decimals with these ratings, okay? Look, Let me tell you how wild my rating is, okay? My rating is so wild. It goes like this. Look, if I was to sit in a room by myself and rate this game's story, because it appeals to me so much in a weird, random way, I would give this I was gonna say an 8. Right, the weirdest 8 ever, because I know that it has potential if done correctly. Like if you give them the input and you go, hey, don't forget this. And like I said, as I was witnessing the game, as I was playing it, I was like, oh God, you could tell that one guy is writing this story, right? Because you got to get input from somebody else who realized, like D7 was pointing out things. Hey, the hero didn't address this, right? This hero seems a little bit too mad at this, or you completely forgot about fleshing out Helena, and then who is Alexander at this point, right? Like, you know, all of these holes. It's like Swiss cheese. However, it's got like the emotion, like the spunk of, hey, the passion. That's the word. Like the passion of RPG is in this story. It's got to be done right. But 8 is not my score. 8 is not my actual score. My actual score is a 5 out of 10, right? And I have to believe this, because I have to we call it settle with that, because it's got all these holes. It has all these means for improvement. But I feel like if you do implement the improvements, if you do you know, get some feedback, and I would even say I think you had to do like some brainstorming, right? I forgot what the brainstorming app was, but really flesh out the personalities of the characters, and really get some proofreading on your dialogue and stuff like that. You got a interesting, not original, not the best, but interesting story to hold up in RPG.
Yeah, it's not as story driven as you want it to be. It's more of kind of my game. I'm not really a story driven person. You know, I'm more like getting into the action, the gameplay. I like having control. I don't really like too much dialogue. So the game isn't really heavy story driven like Cychronic's game and Commander's Crim game, you know, where you could be reading dialogue for like 40 minutes before you even move the character. You know, to some people that's their cup of tea, but me, this game, I mean, it's straight into the action, which I like, you know, so that's definitely a plus on my end. But story wise, yeah, you gotta have a story, and I agree with both of my compadres here. You know, there's a couple, you know, empty spaces that need to be filled up a bit. So,
For sure.
so we can move on to gameplay now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Now I want to bring one thing up because I see it on the screen right now. That putting black font on a black background isn't really the way to go for the menu, right? The menu literally has a black font on a black background, and then when it's selected, it's like gray on black. It just looks really janky.
Yeah, and also I was saying that's like a style inconsistency. You're talking about the main menu with scale, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
like
Yeah,
it's
it's
black
like in
on
cursive. Mm-hmm.
And the font was weird. Like it was like a Wingdings or a Comic Sans type font or cursive.
Yeah, it looked like some sort of
yeah, like if it was just the font of the rest of it and it was red or something, it would look fine.
Yeah, so right. Gameplay. All right, so how do you want to tackle this? Maybe Cychronic, I do want to hear like your expose on what you think, like how the gameplay like plays for you. What you think?
Well, first of all, if we're talking about like the mapping and stuff, I think that most of the maps seem really generic and really like baseline RPG Maker RTP. I was surprised though to see that in the battles though they had custom sprites and custom action sequences and stuff that were actually pretty decent actually. And so more of that, like get the character sprites like when the characters are walking around to look more like they do in the battle. And then the graphical quality in the battles looks just like a little bit better. It looks better than the maps, and I think that if you can make the maps look a little more custom, it's gonna make the game pop a lot better, I think.
Okay.
But as far as like the combat, I mean, I'm not going to go into the specifics of the combat, but it was like standard RPG Maker, but it didn't necessarily feel like it because it had some custom stuff in there. Or the parallax backgrounds, I think, or the battle backs, I think, are custom. And the sprites are custom. I don't know where those sprites were generated, but they look a lot better than the ones that come with the engine. And if that was possible outside of the battles too, but I mean, because like the default RPG Maker chibis are like not my favorite look. But
I hate them too, but I'm using them for my first game. Y'all gonna be reviewing my game soon, first of all. So, but D7, what you think? Gameplay.
You should never told us that, my guy.
I should have. But,
gameplay wise is standard. It feels a bit on the RTP side. It feels like there's really nothing other to get the player sidetracked, like other than doing the story. And the quest that you are actually introduced to is no other than your fetch quests. Like other than that, it's just standard. We're not talking about we're not talking about battles, right? This is just overall when you have control of the, just exploring.
Yeah.
When I want gameplay, I want to experience everything in totality, from the menu, from walking around, from exploring, from maybe doing side missions, side quests, even down to the NPCs that give you lore. This game doesn't really present a lot of that, because maybe the vision that the developer have for this game doesn't give him the opportunity to focus on the other stuff that enhances the gameplay. Gameplay is more than just the battles and the story. It's like anything in between to get to that certain part in the story. What can your player do? What can your player be doing to preoccupy themselves in between? Can your player be doing side missions? Can your player be doing mini games? Could they be learning lore about, maybe demon lore about this demonic demon, of legend? Anything. But right now, only thing we have is point A to point B, to point C, and to point D. We don't have A, then A.1, A.2. We got A to B. It's basically linear. It's a linear RPG. You go in a straight line, and there's really nothing else. You know what I mean? Okay. So overall, I didn't really find nothing too much, to do other than just go on to the next destination.
Yeah.
And my honest opinion, that's pretty much that was it.
All right, so let me try to, I guess, blurt out my experience of the gameplay, right? Because oddly enough, I liked a lot of it, and I feel like the developer must have paid attention to some of the suggestions that we've been spitting out. I don't know if they've been changing it during the episodes or something like that. So, off the get-go, you're unleashed in a very small room, and you walk around in the room.
there's a small bit of text that explains the controls that I really liked. I mean, there's ways that you could implement that better. I think I noted that you could include some pictures for the fight. I think for the battle tutorial specifically. But the yeah, it's like you can use this to, you know, page up, page down, and it gives you the tutorial. So that was good, right? And then you see the little blinking red triangle by the exit. That's like the one door you can leave out of. That already kind of trains the player. Like, I go between these little triangles and I transfer to different places in the map. So that's like, you know, I was trying to play this game like a person that didn't know about RPG Maker. So I was like, man, that's a good idea, right? It does get in its own way in some instances. Some of the eventing is like, okay, when you go into a building, you're standing over the triangle. In order to leave that building, you have to walk up and then walk back down. So just take note of that. But I thought it was very helpful when you start in that small box. It's like you're not confused. So you literally just leave out and then you got to go do the first thing. And then when you get that first little quest, it pops up at the bottom of the screen. It's like quest log updated. And then I went into the menu. I went to the quest log and then I seen what I had to do. So it's like, that was very impressive to me, right? Being like a game for the sake of a player that doesn't really know RPG Maker games, right? Specifically RPG Maker games, right? All of these in the menus like Yanfly plugins and even the out of the box menus, there's a bunch of here's a window, confirm that you're going to go to this other menu, and then you go scroll up and down. You have to page, like, things are not told to you that you can switch the party members and stuff like that. So getting the player quickly used to the scheme was very big kudos to that. But then you get outside, right? And that's where it's like, okay, a person made this game, right? I don't know if they're the first project or the 10th project, but you can see the bits of amateur development of the town and such that, you know, it's simple, but it gets the job done. But then you get to the world map. The world map it reminds me of Super Mario World for Super Nintendo, right? You go across the little track to get to the next part, the next stage or something like that. So I was like, all right, you know, I thought it was only going to be this simple for the very first couple of quests or something like that, right? Come to find out, it's a little, it wears out as welcome. And then also the map design needs some work, straight up. Like, it's not horrible, it just needs some work. So I would say, yeah, consult some people, look around and see how you can maybe edit your sprite sheet, so that your tile set, so that it looks a little more natural, because you can see where some jarring sections and stuff like that. And then you want to get some input on how you can build your map better. And then the NPCs remind me of Dragon Quest. Like, they just got these little one-liners and then they're out, right? Like, so you talk to a guy, it's like, you know, you don't want to come in here. You know, this is the bad place. I don't know, whatever. Like, they say
the sun is shining today, you know.
Yeah, very basic dialogue, right? So really kind of work on that. I would say some of the NPCs can give you hints on gameplay. Maybe there's people who kind of give you clues on the battle system.
There was one guy who said, I saw a weird guy down, you know, like, where he said, I saw a guy dressed in weird clothing run to the south or something.
Yeah.
Right, that guy. Right, so there's that. Right. I think in the end, maybe, was it in the end? Yeah, so because you got to ask around. But, so then, because I'm trying to nail down all the little gameplay elements that I noticed, but I really appreciate the addition of the quest log, but because the quest log had the tutorials in it as quests. So I'm like, I use the Yanfly quest plugin, so I might have to copy off that idea and put my tutorials in there. I thought that was really cool. I like the customized character bus in the menu. Those were like mad clean. I think that the chibis were stretched. There's like a sprite stretcher app. I don't know if that was used for this development of this. So yeah, custom sprites are cool. There was some reuse sprites, which is I'm hoping that they all get swapped out if by the time the game is done. But what else? Last little bit. Eventing definitely needs some work because the characters get out of frame a lot. Oh yeah, and the mountain range, right? The mountain range is a huge thing. Okay, so like it's not the worst, but it's gotta be better, right? It's gotta be better, or it's not gonna be like a enjoyable situation, right? So you guys want to talk about the mountain range? What you think about that?
Well, I mean, the mountain range is basically just, I mean, it was basically really maze-like and also very boxy. So the mountain feels like you're in a building or something, even though it's like, it's just straight, like right angles and straight and 90-degree angles, like it's perfectly square and rectangular, like not like doesn't look like nature where rocks are everywhere and there's like some like asymmetry in the landscape and like the trees are those really generic RTP trees, and there's pretty much no vegetation, no clutter, so to speak. So it just looks really bland and like it was just slapped together as far as the mountain part goes.
Yeah, the whole time I was playing, I was like, man, you could at least have some falling rocks or something like that that'll like do some damage to the party or something. And the troll boss at the end, which was tough. I didn't game over, almost did, but anyway, yeah, that's the battles, I guess, right? I think they could have put a scene where you interact with the troll for a second, somewhere in the middle, to kind of give you an understanding of like what you're getting into, and then bring some color to that situation. Add maybe some dialogue or some like Psychronic suggested, like a camp somewhere on the mountain range, and really get as much input as you can for developing that mountain range. Because I feel like it's you don't want your game to feel like that's just what do you call it, like buffer, right? You don't want to feel like it's just fluff. Somewhere where the guy can level, they got to get to a certain level, and then they experience more story.
Mm-hmm.
To pad the game out,
yeah, padding, exactly. So
padding.
Yeah, mountain range, yep, that was one of my pain points, I think. But other than that, yeah, getting into, so you come out of the mountain range, you got these towns, and I wanted to mention that in the towns there's inns, and then there's item shops, right? Item shops. I caught on to the SP system for upgrading. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around so much, but let me get back to the ends. Okay, the ends are pointless because the save spots, there's a bunch of save spots where you can refill your health for free and save the game, and you can save in the town. I mean, you can save on the world map. So I think try to figure out what makes the end useful. Either it really can't be near any save points that can refill your health for free. Or really think about your gameplay. Like, what is it in at this point, right? Because I got to a point where right before I think I set out after the ghost ship, I saw the save point, and I was like, why is that save point in the end if the save point just refills my health automatically? And in that moment, it did not refill my health automatically. I went outside and I died because I thought that it did it. So that's the thing.
Maybe have different color crystals. One refill your health, other one just straight save.
That's what I thought about.
I mean, me personally, I don't understand why developers even have these saving healing crystals in their game anyway. Only thing it does is allows the player to exploit the system. Mm-hmm. If I'm near a healing crystal and I could go fight in battle, I'm going to take advantage of that and grind without having to spend any resources. So yeah, put it before a boss or in dungeons, but I think in this game is more closer to a boss when you run into these crystals and stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's just got to be gameplay tested, really fleshed out. I always like to personally give some sort of like gimmick to the end, like if you sleep you get a buff, or something like that. Like I try to have some sort of gimmick to the end. But that's just me. So I don't want to tell you how to do ends, but I always had this little pet peeve about the end situation in general with RPGs. What y'all think about the items and equipment?
I like it. I like the equipment, you know, with the bonus set. Kind of confusing at first, but
yes, confusing. That was my first take. I was like, it's cool to have, probably, but how can I use it actually?
And the reason,
go ahead.
The reason why I say it was confusing was because before even having Helena in your party, she is mentioned in the equipment menu. Like basically, whoever the weapon pertains to and the buff pertains to, it's already mentioned. You haven't even met this person yet.
Yep, that's a good catch. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of bugged out. And a lot of developers do this anyways. I don't understand why they do it.
Yeah.
You go to you go to a weapon shop, you see every weapon. You could buy every weapon type that a character is going to be able to equip in the future. That's spoiling the game right there. If I'm a mage, right, and I go to the weapon shop and I see an axe, a gun, a sword, you know, some cestus, you already telling me what kind of characters I'm gonna get in later on. So why not just make the equipment and the shops at that time? You know who's in my party around this time and what level I should be at. So
unless you have a system where anybody can equip any weapon.
But most of the time they don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's so generic where, you know, it's just bad planning. Not saying this game has bad planning, but I'm not saying this game got bad planning, but most of the time that's how some developers do.
Yeah, I'm a little agnostic about that, because it's like it could be world building where you enter a weapon shop and there's like all types of weapons. Like if you really play it properly, you won't know like who you're going to potentially have if you have like a variety of weapons. It really, like, you really got to pay attention to how you do this, because for one, you want to have a simple shop where they can like see that they can buy weapons, but then you might think about, okay, how do I want to build this world so that when the person comes into the weapon shop, there's like a plethora, right? So it depends, right? That's why I say I see D7 point, but also like it depends on how you want to build your world, because you could use these little like boxes on your map, the inn, the weapon shop, the potion shop, and all of that. It's like building out your world. So, you know, imagine you're doing a Star Wars RPG and you see a lightsaber on the wall, but you're actually a bounty hunter, right? And you gotta buy a gun because you only know how to use guns, but you see like the guy sells lightsabers too. You know, it's kind of thing like that. But it all depends. I do see your point though, Lisa. All right. So what you was gonna say?
Nothing.
Just all right. So we chugging along, right? To wrap up the gameplay, I think that like you said, D7, it was missing other stuff you could do, right? So the gameplay was really linear. You couldn't go and gamble your money away. You couldn't go there was a weird secret encounter. I guess I encountered a whole dragon at one point, like randomly. So I thought that was cool, but you couldn't like go off the beaten path to do other quests and then get encouraged to be at a certain level, to be at a higher level. And I think that would really help your game developer if you gave some side quests that would encourage the player to come to this boss fight at a higher level. This boss fight meaning specifically the tough as nails demon boss fight at the castle where you pick up Alexander. So what you guys think about that?
Well, I mean that's where I died, so I mean that it was a pretty hard fight. I guess I was underprepared by the time I went there.
Yeah.
One thing we haven't mentioned, but I want to mention because it's kind of in this section, is also the music. There was a lot of music that was like that was default, like for like comes with the engine. So there's a lot of free music out there. So that's another thing that I'd work on too, is finding more different music tracks. There's a lot of freely available music that sounds pretty good, and just saying, because like the more stuff you have that is custom and isn't just like what comes with the engine, the more your game is going to stand out.
Yeah, so that's such a good point. I forgot. Yeah, music, right? So throughout me playing the game, I was taking note to really make sure that my personal game did not have any RTP or music that came like out of the most commonly used what do you call it? Like they'll get some DLCs and stuff like that. Those like remix tracks that drop specifically for the RPG.
Aaron Crow.
Right. So yeah, I think the music was okay, but like I said, seek more input from folks. Also during the cutscenes, I think you can utilize the tinting more, the tinting of like certain areas. I can't remember specifically, but I think it could use some cutscene eventing improvement there too. Yeah, I said could use some tinting and more variety in mapping. Yep. And then that probably goes back to the mountain range. Oh, and also the castle scene. The castle scene is where I think the tinting should have came in. It was like burning, right? So add like a reddish orange tint or something like that. I think there's even like you can find weather effects that make it look like it's a wave of like, what is that, like a heat wave or something going on. Like the fire's kind of giving off particles and junk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Oh, no rewards for exploration except for those little chests that you found in the mountain range. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, man. Y'all funny. Y'all is funny, man.
No, I just think all this is super good input, right? Like it'll really boost the game, right?
Also, on the music discussion, we do have a whole bunch of links to free music sites in the RTP forum. So if you're looking for music, I have about 13 different sites that have tons of music, and I just added one today because Lunesis was saying Paratune was free, so I added that one in there too. So we have a lot of
Paratune is free, but look how many people use a Paratune as well.
Yeah, I also have Open Game Art, Pixabay.
You know what I mean?
Eric Matias, Incompetech, Free Music Archive, Fusion Flow.
See what you're mentioning? That's going to be new tracks. That's going to be new material. You know what I mean? And,
or at least obscure enough where it's not, you haven't heard it a million times before. Because there's a lot out there that that I haven't heard before, even though technically I hear it sometimes.
But in all fairness, though, the potential player, not the developer who's playing the game or the streamer who play RPG Maker, the music ain't that bad. I actually like the boss battle music. That's pretty cool.
I liked it too.
It's a lot of, he picked the best tracks that you can pick, but at the same time, when you're going commercial, I don't know if this game going commercial or not, but when you're going commercial, that's one thing you at least want to differentiate yourself from is music. That's the least thing you could do. Have like pretty, and another site to have. You can find some free music on itch.io for free. You just gotta give them credit. You can find some pretty good music. I found a couple pretty good ones up there. So,
real quick, I wanted to mention that. Where was that? The weapon images and the upgrading system. So,
Also, upgrading system, I think you gotta just tweak it a little bit so that it's more understandable. Um, it's not like it's not understandable, but the weapon images look too familiar, too similar. So you don't know. Also, you have to unequip the item so that you have the, like, if you want to upgrade the current one you have to unequip it.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. Like, maybe try to adjust that if you could, right? Also make the upgrade person. This is my suggestion. I suggest you make the upgrade person and the item shop person 2 different NPCs, so that you know you're going straight into the upgrade system. And maybe it could just be more. It just seems like it's more going on in your world, right? He could be like a smith or something.
I think with the upgrade system, I think that's a plugin which you have to have it unequipped unless it's an augment. Like if you're adding augments, you don't have to unequip it. You could just add like a crystal to the slot and stuff like this. But actually, the plugin he's using, you actually gotta have the weapon in your inventory. But once you get it equipped, it's no longer in your inventory. So that's why.
Let me tell you the super complicated way to handle that, right? Variables, okay? You can store. So when you talk to the NPC, you initiate an event. In that event, he's going to go through the party. The event goes through the party and takes the weapons out of the inventory. Stores who had what in a variable, right? And then when you leave out the menu, it gives it back to them. Now you might have to make sure it works and functions properly, but I guess you can get around that. But I think it helps the player a lot to be able to just upgrade the weapon and not have to know that they have to unequip it.
I think Cychronic could make a plugin that does that.
Yeah. Like what I would probably do if it was me, because I've already done this with some plugins, is I'll actually use ChatGPT or something and get it to get it to change a plugin to do something that it doesn't normally do.
Hey, that'd be cool. I would be curious to see like a little.
I've made multiple plugins with it, but I've also modified.
Dude, I want to see that in freaking action, Cychronic for sure. And that might help the community too. Like, look, I take this plugin.
Well, you can see it. You can kind of see it in action because I developed my Battle Chess plugin, which, as far as I can tell, it's the first plugin for RPG Maker where there is an actual working AI chess opponent. So I wanted to make something that didn't currently exist in the RPG Maker community yet. And that my live stream of that, you can see it happening in real time, the whole development of the thing. So
all right, link me that if you could.
I'll link it to you.
That'd be awesome. I think if I gave my code to ChatGPT, he would reply that it's trash, and he would tell me to refactor the heck out of that because oh my god,
I'm done.
So yeah, I think the gameplay could use work, but it led me to where I need to go. This is one of the games I played where I was not confused. So kudos to that. It got from one point to another point to another point, and it kept me playing it, right? So guys, let's rate the gameplay. What do you think out of 10? Who wants to go first?
Gameplay wise, go ahead, Cychronic.
You can go first.
Gameplay wise, overall, the lack of exploration in between, even going to meet Helena for the first time and the mountain path and to the next town wasn't really much, but overall, I like the upgrade. I like the weapon system. I like the bonuses. I like the SP. The learning system. It's pretty solid. It looks pretty clean too. But overall, there's really nothing else to do outside of that to where I really need to test my metal. So I give it a 6.
I was also going to give it a 6. So that's pretty much what I was thinking. It gets a passing grade. It does what it needs to do. It's not really broken, but it's generic and it's not and it's not interesting enough, but it's not a total failure either. It just needs a little more time in the oven, some enhancements, some different strategies to change it up, and also change up the generic RPGs like monsters. Like they're all like, most of them are like the generic ones that come with the engine. Something a little juicier would be nice. So, but yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 as well. Just it passes just barely, and with quite a few with these improvements taken into account, though, it could go up from there.
Yeah, so
it's all doable.
That is so funny. The developer is rolling 666 at this point, because I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm considering that.
Now that's demonic.
And that's 666.
Yeah, that is very
my favorite number.
Right, fitting for the game. Let me tell you. So, man, I am praising that tutorial system so much. It really helped the game so much. So I think that's the bare bones like that's needed in order to branch it out, right? You can put the side quests in there, you can add some more content, and it's like the bones is there. I think if I'm going to assume, right, you are building this game out to try to get as much of the story told as you could, so you're just going down the main path, right? That's what it felt like, right? Here's the main path. But let's hope that when you build out this game, you take the input and then you flesh it out and you add some more stuff to get the player going off the beaten path or developing in one direction that's kind of unique to what the player wants to enjoy, right? I think I really like the elements of gameplay where you consider the player, right? Like, hey, let me show you where you got to go. Let me tell you what you got to do. Like at least help you, get from one point to another. So there it is, right? 6 out of 10, but I have the potential. I feel confident that it's easy enough to just put more in, tweak some of the stuff like the upgrade system and everything like that. And then get it to a point where it's just like, I can't wait to, progress my character and finish the story or build out my party or beat this battle. I think I'm excited about it. So next, right? I guess battles and then conclusion, and then that's us for the podcast. So definitely battles. What y'all think about the battles? And I can rant about the battles. What y'all think?
Battles. Go ahead.
I thought that the battles were just standard. Like they were standard. They had some good, decent action sequences, and I really liked the custom sprites. I think that more of that would be good for the enemy side as well. But also, after a while when I was attacking, sometimes it just made sense to just attack. Some of the skills did a little more damage, but it didn't feel like they were. Some skills didn't feel like they were that as important as they should have been for like the amount of NP you're losing. You're doing like 10 more damage than a normal attack, that kind of thing. So I kind of felt like that a little bit. And then after a while, I was just kind of churning through the battles. They weren't. I wouldn't say it was awful, but I wouldn't say that it was like amazing. But if it was just getting away from that generic stuff that comes with the engine will help it quite a bit, and then maybe that makes some of the skills a little juicier or whatever. But that's my honest opinion of the battles. It's okay. It serves its purpose.
Okay.
But it's not amazing.
All right. What you think? Disa?
I'm impressed with the battles. Be honest. Side view, custom battlers, temper action sequencing, not perfect action sequencing, but it's there.
It's decent, yeah.
And there could be a little bit more details too. Like for the move that he runs around in the circle and brings the enemies together, that tornado move, I guess what it's called. It don't feel tornado-ish or fast-ish. You know, it looks kind of jank, but you can see the effort. You know, you gotta appreciate the effort. You know, and this is where you consult members in the community, and this is the great thing about the RTP podcast, right? And the RTP community itself. We have a lot of heavy hitters in that community, in that Discord alone, that is really great at action sequencing. We got IZL, we got Bird Bunch, we got Harlequin, you know, we got associates that's great at action sequencing too, like Lunasis Studios, you know, developer of Trials Cascadia, great at action sequencing, you know, kind of got the mechanics down pat. You could always, I think Brent at one time spent 40 minutes to an hour helping me with action sequencing, how to create an event. You know, people will go out their way to help you with your project if you need help, to make these action sequencing better and cooler and more impactful. And I think that's what some of these action sequencing was missing, was the impact. The battles was cool, like with the double strike, you know, you know, the impact, it feels a bit delayed in a way, you know, for the powerful moves, don't really feel the impact. But other than that, I think the battles they were fun, they were balanced. I didn't really have a hard time with it, you know. That's it. That's my only complaint. You know, action sequencing could be done better, but everything else, you know, it's pretty decent for what it is. Cool battle backs. Battle backs look great. You know, the sprites matches the battle backs, the enemies.
Yeah, I liked the custom SV battlers that he's got going on. They look pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it looks great. Right. Looks great, but not perfect, because when he attacks, he don't swing the swords directly on the enemy. He does it after. You know, kind of feel like it's a delay and takes away that impact that I'm talking about. You know, soon as he swing them swords, it should be right on frame that you play the sound animation or whatever animation that is pertaining to that at the exact moment. But okay, it feels a bit, you know, delayed a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, we're getting a lot of input in the comments. It's like the chat woke up when we're talking about these battles. Okay, so real quick, I want to take the sidebar, ask a question. Someone says action sequences are action sequences more important than gameplay or less? What do you guys think? Like when you see,
I think that it's part of the gameplay. I think action sequences are part of the gameplay.
Okay. I agree. What you think, D7?
Action sequence is a must, especially you dealing with custom battlers or side view. You have to have it.
Okay.
It makes it feel more fun for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Luna Studios mentions that action sequence is part of presentation, which I agree. However, I feel like if you want to, like, presentation is almost a subset of gameplay, right? All of it is gameplay, right? If you're dealing with the menus, you have to go hit enter to talk to somebody. You do an attack and you see the outcome of your attack. You see some battle animation or whatever. All of that is in the gameplay. So I know it's presentation, but if you include action sequences, you're enhancing your overall gameplay, especially in the battle subset. So like that's why we lean on side view battle, because you have those options to enhance your gameplay using the action sequencing. Or you could go the whole battle animation route, and that's just kind of like heavier on the artistic side, because you got to make all those frame animations.
So I just really like this conversation because people want to kind of think about where the priority lies, and I don't think the priority lies either on the action sequences on specific or the specific options you have in a battle, right? I think that you should try to figure out how you can enhance your game to make it more fun. And if action sequences make it more fun to experience, then add them, right? But if it doesn't, then you make that decision, right? Like you got to play your own game, and if it's fun without action sequences, let somebody else play it and agree with you. I think, you know what I mean? So don't feel like action sequences like so overwhelming, like you shouldn't include them, or they have to come at a cost or something like that, right? Go ahead.
Their action sequencing is scary. That's why a lot of developers don't really put them in. You know what I mean? Especially when you have full motion sprites like these, right? You know, other than the chibis, you got chibi sprites. You know, action sequencing looks different with those sprites. You know, it kind of look janky in a way. But when you dealing with like Lowe's battlers, you know, which is designed for those type of things, you know, for full motion action sequencing, you have no choice but to do that. You would make your game look so much better. Imagine playing Trials Cascadia, for example, without the action sequencing. It would be bland. It would look pretty, but it would be bland. You know what I mean? So you need to have some sort of engagement that can catch your players' attention immediately. Yeah. What's the point of having a super ultimate attack and it doesn't look super ultimate? Only thing you playing is Fire 3 or Ice 3 that we seen a million times.
Yeah, and like just to mention, I really appreciate the engagement, especially during this section. Battles like my favorite part of RPGs, and you guys seem really passionate about like this section, right? For whatever reason, right? But dang, what was I going to say? So yeah, Harlequin says literally just clicking on commands. Action sequences super easy. Spend like 30 minutes. Yeah, so I feel like let's help each other out in that aspect, right? I think that action sequencing, as simple as it can be to more complex, it only enhances your game, right? So I think we can come to the consensus that it only enhances your game. So you don't feel like you have to leave them out or compromise. Oh man. But specifically about demonic, let me get back to demonic. This battle right here you see on your screen is too hard. I'm gonna be honest. When I saw Alexander for the first time, I literally got excited, right? I love the sprite of Alexander, right? He holds his shield up, he's guarding, he has his mechanic that you gotta be a magic tank or physical tank was weird. I think that gameplay wise, having the two is probably a little bit too much. To be honest, he should just be able to pull all the attacks to him. Because when you're fighting these two demons, you can't really tell which one is a magic attack or which attack is magic or physical. Can't tell. I don't know. Like, unless you pay attention to the damage that you receive. And then using shield after you pull it in, it's a two-step process in order to get reduced damage. I felt like it played pretty good, but it could use some tweaks because the boss could end up thinking they want to do the hellish destroy you in one move attack that gives you 400 statuses and push you, like sends you to 1 HP or something crazy like that, right? And like you end up just flat out dying. So maybe give that some sort of trigger or a warning to the player that's like the demon is like he's sizing up to do a crazy attack, and then maybe you can get your characters a chance to brace themselves for it, prepare for this attack. Because yeah, if they end up they feel like they want to do the kill you moves back to back, then you're dead in this particular fight. And also the troll fight, he like belched some poison a couple of times during the fight, and I was like, I don't know if this scripted to do it just a couple times, or am I fighting against RNG and he's going to just poison us to death and that's going to be it. So I would say
Oh, it said it only does it on low health, and Alexander says that they get dangerous when low. Okay, I didn't see that part happen. To my Alexander fight, to be honest, I didn't see that in my fight. So yeah, I game over once, and then I went back and I leveled up. I thought it was cool, this particular fight, because Helena got a chance to shine, and then she does the like, you need her as the damage dealer, and you need Alexander as the tank at that point. So I was a little, I don't know, I was engaged in that battle. So I can see where this the battle system can be cool. Also, SP system, it's just like I had to go and remember the SP system existed, get my characters like skills leveled up. You can't level up Alexander's skills before the battle, which I guess is okay. But yeah, I just think like it's just needs some more refining, man. You gotta just refine it, get some other folks to play. But long story short, Alexander's my favorite character. Any more on battles? What you guys think?
I'm good to go.
D7, what you think?
Everything all Gucci. Just tighten up some of the action sequencing, like I said, for example, like the hurricane move, like when the enemies get lured in the middle, make them emulate like they're spinning, like maybe spinning towards the middle until they bunch up and have a big impact. It'll look better instead of them just kind of like easing in and there's really no sound effects to back it up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's no hurricane, no fast motion sound effects at all. It just looks a bit janky. It could be better, but the attempt that is made, you have to appreciate it. And when I first saw it, I thought it was one of the coolest things I ever see. But I saw the improvement. It could be improved, but I do appreciate, the effort of doing it, and this is where the community comes in hand. Get help from the community. Like, hey, and I think Harlequin made the emulation. He did something. I think I was playing the game and he sent me a video of how he would have done that action sequencing. And it looked really good. It looked really good. See, this is where you get a knowledge from an action sequencer to a non-action sequencer, and you could really improve your not only your game, but your knowledge to make better action sequencing. So yeah,
I noticed that too. Some of the skills that Vincent has are a little bit costly on the SP side, I think, in some cases. And then I found myself just attacking in order to get Vincent enough SP in order to do the attack down thing. I don't know, like when I got to the ghost ship, I think they kind of caught their stride a little bit, and then got to the nightmare boss. I think the death boss, the Helena died in that, and then Vincent and Alexander had to take it home. I felt engaged. I know there's definitely needs to be some tweaks to the skills, improvement. The leveling system seemed not bad either. Because the game is so linear, it just seemed like, all right, if I get in a few more battles, I'll level up. And me personally, I'm not a fan of the random encounters, but they were there, so I'm not going to give a negative point. I'm just not going to give a positive point on my end about random encounters. But then there's damn, I forgot the last bit I wanted to mention. But anyway, with that said, let's rate the battle system, guys. What you guys think? Y'all go first.
Did you feel like the bosses were challenging?
Yeah, I think they were. But it got to a point where it seemed a little cheap. Like I said, the belching was pretty cheap. Because I couldn't tell if it was just going to randomly do it and then kill my party, or and then the demonic part. Oh, the nightmare thing, right? I don't know. I don't know why. I think the death boss was probably the best boss. even though he had some cheat moves that were like, you know, put you to sleep and you can't wake up.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But it just felt like I could do it though. It was tough, but I could do it if I would, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I could have went and grind a little bit more. Yeah,
it felt kind of long. Like the boss fights felt kind of, because there was only a couple things you could do in any fight, right? So it just felt, once you got the loop of you knew what to do and you just had to do it for a long time when it was a boss versus a shorter time.
It felt long. Okay. Yeah.
It felt kind of like unnecessarily long to me.
Unnecessarily long. That's deep. So what you rate it?
No, I'd rate it the same as the gameplay, 6.
Are we doing potentials?
That's why I did mention, like, in a story.
I'm just rating it as I see it right now, not what it could be.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It could at a later point be a 9, and then I would say it's a 9.
Yeah, because some people be like, man, potential. You ain't even play that potential yet. You know, but like I said, I think the battles, I didn't have trouble with the battles. You know, I do remember this boss. The boss did almost take me out, but I think I got lucky and survived somehow. But I think the battles weren't bad. And Alexander, you know, he played a good role on not only protecting Helena, but also, you know, dealing damage and protecting this party and stuff. So he's a well-rounded character. So I could see why he's your favorite, because he's like really the ones that you really have to really think about and strategize how to use. Everybody else, you just choose the best attack and just spam the heck out of it. You know, with Alexander, you actually cycling through your skills, trying to pick the best, you know, the best attack that makes sense, you know, at that moment. So, but other than that, I mean, it feels like RTP, but with updated sprites, action sequencing, which is good. I like the background, you know, the presentation is good, and you do feel rewarded when you do battle and you level up, and you know, and you get these new abilities. You know, with the SP point, you learn these new skills. So I am a fan of the skill system, you know, the learning system. I am a fan of that, but I feel like that can be broken as well, because only thing you need to do is just save your points for the strongest skill, and you don't need anything else to do. But I think this developer went the good approach on, you know, showing what skills you should be learning at your current level and skill level. So overall, the music was engaging, you know, even though we heard it before. I would give this game battles rating, you know, a 6.8.
Okay.
Almost a 7. 6.8.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So, thinking back to what Iconic mentioned about, you know, rating the game as it is. I want to pull back some of my excitement, because I'm gonna be honest, like the bright colors, the combat system, the features and stuff like that, like the effort, it called out to me, right? So being a hobbyist since RPG 2000, I see where the effort was. I feel like this isn't just let me get some AI sprites, let me hire an artist or something, you know, let me make a game because I want to get a game made. It's like the energy was here.
and that really kept me through the all of the probably the shortcomings of the game, right? All right. All those sprites, RTP sprites, right? Some custom backgrounds, but there's a lot of stuff that seemed like, I'm gonna call it placeholder, because this guy's got this potential to go and figure this out, right? It's got the potential to go and get the input, the potential to go and improve so much. I really like the custom battlers. So as far as gameplay, I am going to give this another 6. I gotta give it a 6.
All right.
Even though I liked, I had to get used to the SP system, and I got forced to grind, so I got kicked out. I gamed over. I had to leave out. I had to fix the thing. The action sequences, they had, like, love was put into them things. Seek the improvement, but the effort was put into them things. When I did the little goofy looking tornado, it was so fun to look at. When I did the X slash, it was jank, but it was fun to look at. When I did what else? The super holy smite though that Alexander has is too weak in my opinion for the cost. But it was cool doing the little, okay, I gotta take the damage and shield and all that stuff. Like, bro, I am excited about the battle system, and I feel like it can be so much better, like, because you have the foundation there, right? So seek the input, get stuff. So I will review this again later down the road when it's at a more final state. So please, stick with the community, get the input. I like so much about what this can be. But today is 6 out of 10. Thank you for letting us review the game.
Amen. Thank you. Once again, like I said, in a note from, I ain't want to mention this now, in case the developer didn't mention to you guys, but they did message me saying that I've taken the stuff you said last stream to heart and implemented dynamic enemies instead of static ones, and redone some maps with FSM tile sets. So thanks. So they already made improvements. They already changed some of the enemies, so I'm hoping that the game is gonna look different the next time we get our hands on it, which is why we do these things, because it's kind of like being nose blind. You're used to a certain smell. It may smell bad to somebody else, but it don't smell bad to you. And these developers suffer the same thing. They think their game is all that in the bag of chips, but with somebody with more experience, see it don't look as good as they think it looks. So always keep that in mind. There's always room to grow and to improve. And this developer not only took our advice and take recommendations, they didn't defend their project even though it needs improvement. Some people are like, well, it's already good how it is, I'm gonna leave it just like that. And we dealt with those types before where they didn't want to hear anything. So what's the point of us asking us to review if you're not gonna even listen to recommendations? But this developer is humble and would definitely succeed in this game development journey. I really feel that.
This is my gameplay, yo. This is my gameplay right here. I found this dragon, though. I thought that was cool. Ran into this random dragon. They're like, you should run, but I ain't run because I ain't no coward. I
no coward, boy. We don't raise no cowards around here. So I'm gonna ask you guys another question. Will you buy this game?
I'd say right now.
In its current state, no.
Not right now. Not right now.
Not right now, but maybe later. Maybe later when it's good enough. But yeah,
that's okay, right? That's okay.
That's okay. I feel like
somebody sends you a game for free to test their little game out, like, you expect something kind of worse than this, honestly. But you
Yeah,
got something
yeah.
you could play and reach a certain place, and I think that's good enough, right? And then when it's production ready, I seen the credits and everything. You got the credits set up. Just fix some of the tweaks. Keep seeking the input and tweak it out if you really want to make it retail. Dang, what you think?
You have to keep refining it down into weapons grade uranium, and it's only at the level of nuclear power plant generation at this time. So
yeah, good feedback, guys. Good.
In my opinion, I'm sorry, I just want to add this. If you can give the player something to feel like they accomplished or achieved, and a lot of times with RPGs, it's like finding out the end of the story or something, right? But if you have some sort of challenge for the player to experience and get sucked into in order to overcome, maybe some mechanic that they can abuse that will set off their little endorphins in their head, like a hook, then I would say you're traveling towards like a retail type of game. But you gotta, like Cychronic said, you gotta keep hammering at that, and it's gotta be like we gotta make straight cocaine if that's what you want to make, something entertaining that's gonna hook a player. But what you think?
I'm not telling y'all my answer. Keep that personal. Nah, I'm joking.
But all right, so because I say the battles though, I got excited to see the next abilities that I would get. So if those are cool, and like I want to do the abilities on the enemies, that's getting there a little bit. Just getting there. Maybe if I go on a quest, that's a side quest, and I get a new ability from doing that. I don't know. If I have the customization, I can build my party out kind of the way I think that I would succeed. So really think about that. I'll keep thinking about. Fuck is that game? The one Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles. Yes, Xenoblade. I keep thinking about Xenoblade, right? That's super dynamic, but only thing you got is that semblance of agency where you can be like, all right, I want to have these party members, I want to be strong, and figure it out. All right, I'm ranting now. Go ahead, D7, my bad.
You're good, brother. You're good. I'm just listening to the knowledge y'all guys spitting.
Okay. So, retail or no? Or you want to keep that until for later date?
Retail or no? As of now, it should be free until I see more improvement. But the developer is making those improvements, which is great. But right now, the way it looks, and what's killing me is the RTP, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired of looking at it. I'm tired of looking at the RTP tile set. Even though FSM is the new RTP, it don't look like this. And you could just tell. I feel like there's so much improvement, and visuals is like one of the things for me. It needs to look like I need to spend some money on this. It has to have that look.
I can tell you one thing, and I've been thinking about this while I make my games. Like, you got to get away from some of the Yamfly menu plugins, honestly. like it can't look like, it cannot, like the menus cannot look like you want to be retail, cannot look. You can't even use. I honestly wouldn't even use anything out of the box as far as the menus if I was going to make a retail game. That's the challenge right there, right? Because the menus, navigating the menus is pure poopy. Okay, like you got to exit so many. You got to hit escape so many times to get out of something. Like, imagine you want to give your party member a potion or whatever. You got to be like item. Select a character to use. Select whatever. I don't know why so much, but it's a lot, bro. You go in the menus, you gotta go bing, 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 and give it the item, bing, 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 and you gotta exit. Boom, 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 boom. It's a lot though. So
see, and another thing, like, look at the maps. Look at the screen map.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of open space. It doesn't look like it
looks really generic. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it needs work. I understand I understand, you know, mapping may not be the developer's cup of tea, but you're under a different scrutiny when you're a commercial developer. This is why the stigma, the RPG maker stigma exists. Not saying that the game shouldn't be commercial, but people complain just the way it looks, just by the map. They're like, oh my God, why this map? And they're gonna feel like, oh, the developer just want to make a quick dollar, which isn't true. But that's how people outside of the RPG maker community is gonna think.
You know, you speak from experience because you done reviewed so many of these games.
Yeah, like right now, Brent Rawson's game is basically the pinnacle of what a commercial RPG game should look like to the fullest. It doesn't even look like it's been made with RPG Maker if you don't recognize some of the assets and the materials in the game. That's how gorgeous that game looks and feels. Now, other developers up here, you know, definitely doing their thing. Like if you look at Moogle's Rampage's new game, Moonfell, looks amazing. You know, like you gotta make it not look generic. And you know, with see the battle backs and the sprites doesn't make the game look like it's RTP, but the enemies do. You know, they're static enemies and they're pretty much enemies that we've seen a lot. So I would definitely look up other free sources that you can get enemy battlers from. Or if not, you may have to get premium battlers so you could stand out. I feel like if you can get premium battlers like your commercial, you're gonna have to spend some money. You can't keep that wallet shut. You're gonna have to open it. You gotta spend money to make money. That's what they say out here. You gotta spend money to make money. And spending money to make your game look better is definitely worth the investment. And that's assets that you can keep forever and reuse. So it's not a waste. So
yeah, for sure.
So Cychronic went out the box and made all his own tile sets to look different from everybody in the other mama's RPG Maker game. When you look at Cychronic game, it's trippy. It got crazy lights and a lot of stuff running in the background that make your CPU and GPU run at 100%. But it looks good. His game looks good. It feels commercial. You know.
I still have stuff to work on though, but also I also give out my assets for free, so I don't really care if anyone uses my tile sets or my graphics. You can use them, whatever. I know I'm weird like that as a developer, but just go for it. It's fine.
Yeah. And I can name a lot of these developers. I'm sorry if I didn't name you guys, but you know, we got some heavy hitters. We got some heavy hitters in this community. So I'm not saying your game ain't heavy hitting or can't be. It's just some things that I've seen, like your maps just look like I just started developing on the engine. You know what I mean? I seen free games maps look way better. And the mountain pass should tell you something. Do I want the public to see this mountain pass that doesn't look so mountainous at all? It just looked like a flat area of brown cliffs, and that's it. Even there's not even a broken bridge where you can cross to get to the chest. So the mapping is like the weakest part of the game that definitely needs to be improved. If I show you my first game, I thought my first game was all that in a bag of chips. I was going to charge $10, $9.99 for that game until I got into this RPG Maker community and seeing how other people's games look. I was so embarrassed with myself. I said, there's no freaking way I could charge this. Ain't no freaking way. So, just words of encouragement. Just keep grinding, keep shining. Alright, so
for sure.
So I think we covered everything from story, gameplay, battle system, mechanics, music, all the above. Right now I can't purchase this game because it doesn't look, not now. I would play it if it was a free download. I would definitely play it. Don't get me wrong, because I want to know why the demons are after Vincent. I would like to know that. But other than that, definitely not a bad game. Not bad. So I think that's all we got for y'all guys today. So any closing words to the developer, or y'all got you think we gave him everything that he needs?
Not for me. I think
we gave some good input, and again, we're open door policy, right? So like, even after the stream is over, if you want to chit chat with us separately about stuff, we're always happy to help too. We're here for you.
Yeah, and also you guys know how I do. If you got updates of your game and you want me to stream your game and play your game, I would definitely do it. I played Dungeon Rummage probably over 10 times. You know what I'm saying? I played, a lot of people games over and over. I think I got 4 streams of Brent's game. I got probably 6 streams of Bird Bunch's game. I have a lot of replays and updates. So I'm willing to do that. And we do this stuff for free. Other people will charge you money. So reach out to use the resources. The resources are out there to improve your game. So maybe the RTP need to maybe one day do a game jam, to see your true skills. So
yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, like that would be a good subject for one. Like, show us your skills, just and then like leave it really open ended.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Until next week, till the podcast will return, we will announce the game later on this week for next week. But other than that, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm going to go ahead and spend time with my family. Mr. Sick guy over here, Unjaded, got to go play rugby. And Cychronic got to go do what he got to do. Some Cychronic stuff. Until next time, guys. We'll see you later. Y'all stay safe. And peace out.
Good luck.
Peace.